Hello, and welcome to a brief overview of the Washington State Housing Finance Commission down payment assistance programs. Now, this is not the official class that is required for this class. This is simply an overview. I'm a licensed loan originator here in the state of Washington, and I have done a lot of these loans, and I'm here just to simply educate and give you a brief overview. This presentation is not sponsored by the Housing Commission, but I'm a big fan of the Housing Commission and what they provide, and my goal today is to just give you a brief overview of these programs so you can see if it's a good fit for you and see if it would make sense to move forward with this as an option to buy a home. Real quick, my name is RJ. I am a licensed loan originator at Canopy Mortgage and branch manager. I have a license in good standing. 1587912 is my license number. My wife, Emma, I have 3 boys. I have a busy life with 3 horses, 7 chickens. I should put an asterisk there because chickens, that number is always changing. A cat and a dog. We stay really busy. I've been doing this since 2017, and I love what I do. I've done a lot of these loans through the state of Washington. I think it's a great program, and it's important for you to understand a lot about the program, maybe some quick pros and cons to see if this is going to be a really good fit for you. So I hope to do that in the next few minutes. So let's do some brief overview highlights of the program. So you can pair this program with some what we call standard loan programs. So it's going to be conventional loans, FHA, USDA, VA. So conventional and government loans can pair with this program. Okay. It is a 3 to 5% assistance. Now, those numbers can change based on the specific program, but this is a really good, broad kind of overview, again, as I said at the beginning. Okay, it's not a grant. That's the thing that's important to understand, that some states have grants. This isn't a grant. It's actually a loan that, if you look down here, is due when you sell, refinance, or move out of the property. Okay, so that would be turning the property into an investment property. They do require you to pay back the assistance at that point. One really positive thing here, it's a 0% interest rate on the second loan for the main program, okay, the Home Advantage program. Other programs have a 1% deferred interest rate, which simply means if you borrowed $10,000, you would owe $11,000 at the future date, okay? One thing that I really like about them is there's no payment on them. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. So here are the brief kind of overview requirements, okay? The Washington State Housing Finance Commission does have a class, okay? So they do require you to take a class. That class you can do online. You can do in person. They have a lot listed. I will try and link the class in the description below. You do have to purchase in the state of Washington. There's a 580 minimum credit score as of June 2023. Prior, it was a 620 credit score. That 620 is now only applicable to conventional loans, which is the rule kind of across the board, okay? And now, while the minimum credit score is where you need to be, there's some important things to understand, that your entire credit profile will get analyzed for the approval. So just because you have the 580 minimum credit score doesn't mean you'll always get approved. So understanding what's happening on your credit is a really important part of this process. It's something that we specialize in as well. So if you're out there and you're like, gosh, I don't know what's going on with my credit, I've tried to fix it, or I don't know where to begin, credit is a really important part of this process. So we work with people all the time helping them get to this spot to qualify for this program. So if that's you, definitely grab my information, reach out, leave a comment, any way, shape, or form. I'm easy to get a hold of. Let's get this process started. We can help you get your credit where it needs to be, okay? The last piece here is they do require a home inspection. That sometimes matters in different markets where people will leverage a home inspection to be competitive. In this program, you are required to have one. You aren't required to negotiate on the home inspection, but you are required to get a home inspection done. The Housing Commission definitely wants you to be a well-educated home buyer, okay? Moving on, let's look at some pros, okay? So pros of this program, really it makes buying available sooner. What does that mean? That means that the time it would take you to save up the amount you would need for this down payment, they're going to kind of shorten that timeline for you, okay? What that does for you is it means you're not stuck sitting waiting for homes, or stuck, I should say, watching homes appreciate in value higher and higher while you're saving your money. So it brings that process up in your timeline for you, which I think is a huge advantage, okay? There's no payment on these second loans. They are loans, right? As a reminder, they do have to get paid back, but there's no payment on them. A lot of programs, there's a lot of nationwide programs that require a payment on the second mortgage, which can make the process more expensive, which really doesn't do you a ton of good. There's also some specialized programs, needs-based programs, minority-based programs, disability-based programs. There's lots of different programs. The state does a really good job kind of covering all aspects there, and it's important to work with somebody like myself to pair you with the right program as well, okay? And the best part, I think, about it is it's a standard loan process. What does that mean? That means there's no extra hoops to jump through. There's one process where they effectively, they being the Housing Commission, they have to sign off on the loan approval, but it's not a separate process. It doesn't extend the loan process much. It's a simple standard process. We can do everything here in-house here, and it can make it really, really smooth. So they do a good job with that as well, which makes the process great for you, great for the home seller, and great for the agents that are involved as well. So big pro there. Now, let's look at some of the cons, okay? So what do we need to know? What's the bad? Okay, well, the rates and fees, I think they can be higher in some instances. Depending on your credit score, things can always, everybody's situation is unique and different. But it is important to know, I would say in most circumstances, the fees are going to be a little bit higher. So it's important to know. And it's important to know that zero down or down payment assistance doesn't mean $0 out of pocket. I've helped a lot of clients do that, but it does require some negotiating with your offer to have maybe some assistance from the seller to cover closing costs. Closing costs are still going to be a part of this process for you as well, okay? This one's really important, okay? Borrowing more can make refinancing tricky. And this might be a little bit of a higher thought process here, but important for you to know and at least have in your brain, okay? If you're borrowing the total loan or the total purchase price, right, with the first and the second, with the down payment assistance, the home will need to improve in value for you to refinance in the future. So be wary of anyone who's going to say, oh yeah, you can just do this loan and you can refinance. It's really easy. There's some things that are important to know, some caveats here that are important for you to understand as well. That mean, hey, this can be tricky because the market might not always appreciate at the rate that we think it's going to be. And getting in with in a program that has a little bit of a higher interest rate, you just don't want to get into this program and think, oh, I'm just going to refinance. Everything's going to be great. Okay, so just be aware of that. And there are income limits for specific programs. The state of Washington currently is filming this in 2024 is going to be $180,000. There's different programs, needs-based programs are going to have different income limits. So we can pair you with the right one. Okay, and then this is the important piece too, right? It's a repayment requirement. Not a grant, not free money. They do want you to pay it off, either wrap it in. It's kind of what we say. We pay it all off with the refinance, or you pay it off when you sell the home. So important to know, like when you're thinking, oh, this home will appreciate in value, we'll take the money that we earn and maybe buy a different home, kind of do the move up buyer process. It's important to know that, okay, this is still going to be required to pay back, which could potentially eat into your future earnings. It's still a great program, though, to help you get in. And I think the big pro that we talked about earlier, kind of moving up your timeline, can be really, really helpful in terms of, hey, do we just wait and continue watching home prices moving up around us? Or do we get in a little bit sooner? So if you're curious if this is a good fit for you, I'm happy to offer some one-on-one personalized advice. I'm really easy to get a hold of. So check out any of these ways you can get a hold of me directly. So you can pause this, take a screenshot, but also I'll make it really easy for you here. And you can just scan this. If you want to take a screenshot, scan it, save my information into your phone, reach out, book a time on my calendar so we can figure out what program's a good fit for you, when it's a good fit for you, and how much home you can qualify for. Happy to answer any and all the questions for you, and I look forward to talking with you soon.